Hi there guys, Dan here from Bride and Guitar Academy. Now today we're going to go through that little song which I just played you, and basically it's talking about sus chords, suspended second and suspended fourth chords. Now first of all I'm going to tell you a little bit about the theory behind them, just basic stuff. Then we're going to go through the chord shapes and actually learn that little tune, okay? Now, just a preamble, the best thing about sus chords is that once you've learned the shapes, they kind of go hand in hand with these major chords. So, if you're ever on a D major, for example, you can add in the sus chords that we're going to learn any time, really. It's just a nice kind of melodic addition to the chord that really will always work. So let's just have a little chat about the theory. Now, what's going on in a major chord is you've got a first, a third, and a fifth from a major scale. Okay, if you don't know that, go back to your theory books and start working it out. Okay, that's basic chord construction. Now, a sus chord then, suspended chord, will take the third note from the major chord. So in this instance, in D, the third note is an F sharp, and that's right here, 2nd fret E string. Now, at that point, if I do a suspended fourth, what it means is suspend the 3, so get rid of it, and add the 4th note from the scale. And in this case, that's a G, which is right there. Okay? So now in my D, instead of having the F sharp, I'm going to put my little finger on the G. Okay? And there's a sus 4. Okay? If I was to do a sus 2, I take that 3 again, but this time replace it with a 2, a 2nd note from the scale. Now the 2nd note in D major is an E major, so I'd be having an open string, and that's what it is. Okay, so sus 2, sus 4, they're basically replacing the 3 with whatever the number is in the chord, so 4 or 2. Okay, now let's have a little look at, let's go through the song and actually go through the chord one by one as we do it. So we're starting off with an A major. Now for you guys that aren't sure, it's an open A string followed by the 2nd fret of the D string, then 2nd fret of the G string, and 2nd fret of the B string, and that's 1, 2, 3 fingers. And I've got an open E string as well there, okay? Now that's your basic A major. Okay, your next chord is going to be the A sus 4. Okay, so I'm going to add my little finger here. This is 3rd fret B string. Okay, everything else is going to stay the same. And notice I don't even move the 3rd finger. I'm just going to keep it on there. There's not really much point moving it. Just put this in front. If you struggle to get that stretch between the 3rd and the 4th finger, then move it. But you should be okay. Some people like to do it like this, stretching the 3rd finger across and back for the A. Whatever feels comfortable for you guys, okay? So we've got A, then A sus 4, then we're going to go back to A, and then we're going to do A sus 2. And what we've got on the A sus 2 is the A major, so 1st finger, 2nd finger. We've got an open B string this time. Okay, so hear that sound, that's my open B string, so that gives it that new tone. Okay, so we're going between A sus 4, back to A sus 2. Okay, now we're going to do that progress twice. Okay, and then we're going to be going over to D. Now for those that don't know, the D is an open D string. 1st finger, 2nd fret of G string. 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the B string. And 2nd finger is on the 2nd fret of the E string. Notice I have my thumb over the top down here to block off the low E string, because we don't want that sound at all. Okay. Now, we go from D to D sus 4, which means I'm going to add my little finger to the 3rd fret E string, but I'm going to keep my 2nd finger there anyway. Then I'm going to go back to the D, and then D sus 2 is removing the 2nd finger and just having the open E string. So I've got normal chord plus open E string. So we've got D, D sus 4, D, and then D sus 2. Then we're going to return to A sus 4, A sus2, okay, and then we're going to go to C. Now if you don't know C, third finger, okay, third finger's up on the A string, 3rd fret, second finger D string, 2nd fret, open G string, and then the first finger is on the B string, 1st fret. And I'm trying to get an open E string as well at the top. Okay, should sound something like that. And now with this one, we want to be doing a sus4. We're just going to do sus4, and the sus4 is add the little finger there. Okay, so 3rd fret D string. So we start on the C, then we add the little finger to make it a sus4. That's going on 3rd fret D string. Notice I keep my 2nd finger where it is anyway. Back to the first one, over to this one. Okay, so you just change that. So C, C sus4, C, C sus4. Then we're going to go to E. Okay, open string, 2nd fret on the A string with my 2nd finger. Third finger is on the 2nd fret of the D string. 1st finger is here on the 1st fret of the G string, and then open B and open E. You really should know these chords, guys, if you're trying to tackle this lesson. That's just a little warning for you, otherwise it's going to be a bit too much of a struggle. Then there's your E major, and we're going to do an E sus4 with this one, which simply means we add the little finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. So we get E, E sus4, bit of a squeeze, but it will work. E, E sus4, and then we're back to A. Okay, so they're the chords. So just work on getting those chord shapes. We've got a sus4, sus2 for the A and the D, and we've got a sus4 for the C and the E. Okay, now rhythm-wise, what I'm doing is a constant down-up motion. I'm going down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Or for those of you who have counted this stuff before, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and what I do, I'm just going to talk it through with you on the A. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what's happening is, let's say we start on the A. I'm going 1 and 2 and. So on the 2 and, as I hit that upstroke, I'm adding my sus4 on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? And I'm going to keep changing on those ands. Okay? Okay, so if you consider that the A sus4, A sus2 is one unit, you keep changing on the ands, so the 2 and the 4 and each time until you get back to the start again. Okay, so I'm going to talk it through nice and slow, and this same pattern applies to every single chord. Okay, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and we're back to the start. Okay, and let's do that on the D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and it repeats on every chord, like I said. So what I'm going to do, assuming you've kind of vaguely picked up some of that stuff, it will take a while to get the chord shapes learnt. The rhythm isn't too hard because you are just doing down, up, strokes. It's just getting it on those ands that can be a little bit tricky, okay? But do check out the PDF that comes with this lesson to kind of help you along. And I'm just going to play through it nice and slow, one time round, counting all the way through, and then it's up to you to try and get it alongside that backing track that I've sent to you. Okay, so here we go. So after 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. start it this time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Back to A. C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Then E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and back to the start. Okay, so good luck with that, guys, and I'll see you soon for another lesson.